Hello folks, Tiso here. This is an actual review of the April shop. As a monthly reminder, you should always buy the 5 Intertwined Fates and the 5 Acquaint Fates every month. That's the best use for your Stardust. Everything else in the shop is not really worth it since you can farm it all. Maybe the Dust of Azoth if you really need it, but we've been getting a good amount from events anyway, so hold off on that unless you need to. Now for the more interesting Starglitter exchange. We are going back to one story 4-star and a non-story 4-star again. Actually, I think Razor was one of the first characters in the Starglitter shop period, so now he's back. I'm not sure if this means there's some other weird rotation that Genshin Impact is doing, because we're still missing a couple 4-stars that haven't appeared in the shop yet, especially the newer ones that came out. And then back again, we have the Royal Weapon line. All the Royal Weapons give attack percent as the secondary stat, and the passive is to increase your crit rate. I said this before and I'll say it again. I think the Royal Weapon line is really bad. It will get worse and worse as you progress later into the game. The reason is because of the passive. This passive is better if you have lower crit rate, and it gets worse and worse as you get better artifacts eventually. The secondary stat of attack percent puts it below other weapons with crit stats as the secondary. Since more and more people is reaching endgame and they have the ability to farm and guarantee 5-star artifacts, there's a higher chance of getting good crit rolls, and that's why the Royal Weapon line is gonna get worse and worse as the game goes on. As for the 4-star character, we have Amber. I just gotta admit, she's not really that good. There's been plenty of other new archer characters introduced, and Amber focuses on charge shot gameplay, which Ganyu excels at indefinitely. I know Ganyu was a limited event character, but there's better options than Amber unless you really like her cheerful attitude. Now for Razor. In my opinion, he is the second strongest 4-star carry in the game. I think the strongest 4-star carry is Ningguang at Constellation 6. Razor follows closely, and I'll explain why. First of all, he is very easy to use. There's no special nuances, you just use your normal attack, E when it's up, and ult when you have everything else ready. For Constellations, his C1 is not bad. You will get an elemental particle every time he uses his E, so you'll be keeping up the 10% damage buff for the whole time until you use his burst. His Constellation 2 also helps his damage. It increases his crit rate against enemies with 30% or less. This pairs really well with the Wolf's Greystone, which increases your attack when hitting lower health enemies. Both his first and second constellation helps out his DPS, and now the fourth one, which I think is his best constellation. Whenever he uses his E, the press version, not the hold version, the opponent will lose 15% defense. There's not many abilities that decreases defense besides Superconduct. We have Anemo characters and artifacts that can shred elemental resistance, but the same can't be said for physical resistance. Constellation 4 will decrease the enemy defense for 7 seconds, and if you look at his cooldown for his E, it's 6 seconds, so technically you can keep up this defense shredding 100% of the time. And now for his last constellation. Every 10 seconds, Razor's normal attack will be charged up by an electric hit. You are also given an electric sigil if he is not using his ult. The sigils increase Razor's energy recharge, so this constellation helps with both damage and helps him get his ult back faster. And that's pretty much it for the shop in April. Once again, a quick summary. Always get the Intertwined Fates and Acquaint Fates with your Stardust exchange every month. Never buy the Royal Weapons from the Starglitter shop. And if you don't have a good 5-star main DPS, then give Razor a try. He's easy to use, and at late constellations, he has the same damage output as a C0 5-star carry. As always, thanks for watching and have fun out there, traveler.